This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Clueless Trading Frank. It's approximately 9:03 p.m. on February 8th, 2021. Welcome. This is our weekend strategic webinar rescheduled by one day because of Super Bowl Sunday. Today's session is going to be recorded, uploaded to directly on the real-time Twitter feed, approximately 20-25 minutes after we get done. We're going to try to keep this session very short for a couple of two primary reasons. Number one, everything that I'm going to talk about, most of it has already been delivered on the real-time Twitter feed. So all you have to do is focus a little bit on the real-time Twitter feed. You know what we're going to talk about. Number two is I am dead exhausted. Okay, been working my butt out to make you guys and gals hopefully a lot of money over the past couple of days, today, over the past couple of weeks, over the past couple of months. And honestly, I am really tired. You can hear that in my voice. I was actually taking a nice serious nap, and the Alexa alarm on my Amazon Alexa was set, and it woke me up. So here I am. Full disclosure, this is purely for financial education, not for any solicitation or advice. Welcome. So the first thing that I'm going to start off with, as you see the background in the back, which is the bull running against the herd of bears, which is pretty much what the sentiment story is in the market, is a question. And I'd like to, with respect to my time and yours, I'd like you all to answer very quickly. Very simple. So start off with Leo. Okay, quick question. Are you happy? Are you sad? Or are you somewhere in the middle?
I'm happy.
Okay, I'm not. Mike H, are you happy, sad, or somewhere in the middle? Okay, Mike H, maybe you will answer. Maybe I'm not sure. Okay, then we have Mike H again. And Mr. Herrera, change your handle on these webinars and stuff to a different handle like you have, you know, like flip the coin or whatever. Just so that you don't have your full name displayed out there. Doesn't really matter, but I'm just saying. So, Mr.
Okay.
Herrera, are you happy? Are you sad, or somewhere in the middle?
Happy.
Oh, not good answers. Paul, are you happy, sad, or somewhere in the middle? I'm talking overall.
I'm not happy yet, but I'm somewhere in the middle.
Okay. So, this is 4 responses. This is a very small sample of our hundreds of members that we have. You know. So from a quick statistical sample, and I'll throw in my answer, I'm not really happy. Okay? The truth is that the people who say they're happy, they don't know what FU money is all about. So you don't even know what real happiness is all about. You're happy because you are, in a good way, you're participating, you're looking at the tactical chart, you're taking some trades, you're being active. On that respect, you're happy. But when you look at the overall sentiment, if you really look down of what you could have made, if you had done this or that, not sold too early, most of the cases in this type of market sold way too early or not gotten into a trade. You're happy with a little bit because of the ones you're in, but not even from the bottom. So the fact is that the overall general sentiment in the markets, the bulls are walking the walk. I mean, talking the talk, but not walking the walk. Because if you're really happy, you'd be very aggressive on every single trade. And if I ask that question, the answer would be no, I'm not. So be happy. Confidence is good. Confidence is good. That helps you stay in a trade. That helps you be participative. That helps you. So I go with what Paul said. I'm personally not very happy. and I'm delivering huge trades, and I'm doing good, but I'm not even reaching close to peak performance. That is the story of the market. The rest of the market can talk a big talk, but when it really comes down to it, they're not walking the walk. They're not putting in the amount of capital it should be, and that includes institutional fund managers, that includes the big shots who manage billions and billions of worth of dollars, and that includes the retail trader who is gambling on this stock or that stock. So let's face facts. Deep down, you're not happy. All right, that's behavioral game theory at its best at real estate trading. Now, number two, the broader market. And now we're going to get into charts and stuff. The broader market backdrop from a fundamental and technical basis is pretty damn good. It's really good. Mike Wilson, Paul, you might remind me, he's with Merrill Lynch something, right? Mike Wilson, the big shot analyst, market strategist, Mike Wilson, who's mostly a bear, but went bullish, then went bearish. Today, Mike Wilson, today went bullish. He said the correction he was expecting in the first quarter of 2021 is already over. And we called it. We called it when the market plummeted big time at the end of November, from approximately 26th of November here till the 27th, shot up on the 28th. I mean, what am I saying? November. I told you I was tired. January plummeted down, created a significant bottom at around 36.60. Okay, on in the after market on the 31st, and this is where we are. So we've been guiding people through and through, and everything that I talked about, as in pattern symmetry and all that stuff that I do not have the energy to go through right now because I have gone through it a lot. Okay, these type of boxes, which are called basically pattern recognition, right? This told you that this would look this already happened, and we have a little bit more room to go. On a technical basis, the markets can continue to go higher as long as traders keep on lying to themselves and selling themselves that they're really happy. Because by the time you really get happy, that's when, and the majority gets really happy, is when we reach what we call the conclusion of this level, this phase of Elliott Wave 5. So we're not quite there yet, but we're not too far from there yet. Okay? We're not too far from there yet. Whichever the case, we have had intraday corrections. Look at these boxes, okay, which I've shown many, many times before, walked you all through it. This is the way it happens. You snooze, you lose. All right, so we broke out hard. Here's your big breakout level, which was approximately around 38.62. We're at 3,900. We can go up, like I said, to 3,920, which we almost got to. And based on this particular chart, we can go to 3,940. And then, of course, anybody who's walking on the street, sucking on a lollipop can say, hey, we can go to S&P 4,000. Yeah, we can. Well, that's anybody could tell you that. But I'm telling you from a technical level that we're most probably going to go to about 3,940. And 3,940 from here is only 25 handles away, which is another 150 to 200 Dow points. Probably overshoot. Whichever the case, it's a serious bull market in motion, okay? Serious bull market in motion. So this is where we are right now. This is where max level that we can go to by tomorrow. If the market continues to move up tomorrow overall, we had a very strong day in the market. with Dow Jones up 0.75%, 0.76%. NASDAQ was up a lot, almost 1%. Without the participation of Apple, which was barely even, but so many other tech stocks were. Without the participation of Google, which was actually down, without the participation of Amazon, which was down, without the participation of Facebook, which was down, we still were up almost 1% because there's other stocks majorly which are in the NASDAQ 100. NVDA, Square, AMD, you name it. Stop. Imagine when Apple actually wakes up and goes up $5. Then we get this type of move here up towards the 335, 336 level on the QQQs. Now, members, new members, old members, free trial subscribers who don't quite follow these charts, some, I'm not talking about the people over here, but just in general, well, you better start doing it because that's how you know how to manage your profits. I'm just drawing another line here and showing you the uber bullish level of what the NASDAQ 100 can go. Now, don't forget what I said repeatedly from a couple of weeks ago. February 14th is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's to you all beforehand. And 14th is Sunday. You normally don't have a crash in the market before Valentine's Day, which coincides with the middle of the month, which is the 15th, which is Monday, where we always have a technical reset correction in the market in the middle of the month. You guys have been with me for a couple of months or, short time, know that very well, right? Exactly. Middle of the month, give or take plus minus 2 or 3 days, either going, in this particular case, I would say after the 15th, so let's say 15, 16, 17, expect to see a really sharp reset in the market. What's a really sharp reset? 600, 700, 800, maybe 1,000 points can happen. A retest of 330 after we move higher towards this level, right? As you can clearly see, in the case of the S&P 500, this is the daily chart that I might have shown. Okay, beautiful. These charts should be, honestly, these charts are so precise, so accurate, and I'm not, beating myself, patting myself in the back and thumping my chest, whatever. These charts are so precise, they're not even funny. Like I said, you don't even have to trade stocks. You can trade the SPY, you can trade the QQQ, you can trade the IWM, which I really haven't been involved in lately, even though that has been one of the strongest winners, which is small cap stocks. IWM was up again today, 2.6%. It's mind-boggling. But what about the SPY and the QQQ? You can make tons of money on that too. Yeah, you're not going to make 400% on an average day, but you can make 60%, 70%, 100%. Okay, so here's your daily chart of the overall market, S&P 500 E-minis. MACD crossover, this is going sideways. The full stochastics. No rocket science here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your acceleration channel. And if it kisses the back end of the acceleration channel, you're talking 39.95, give or take 4,000 on the S&P 500. So some serious crap going on. Good. So you saw the cues, you saw that, and now I'm going to hand over the mic to my friend Paul here. While I don't, once every month or so, I indulge myself and I have a little Twix, which I'm having right now. So I'm going to give the mic to Paul here, who's going to talk a little bit on a couple of stocks that he likes, which are a lot of them we have in common, big cap techs and others. And while he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and pull in the charts on those. So Paul, please take over.
All right.
Go
Did
ahead.
you want to share screens with me, Frank?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do that, which I certainly can do. Bear with me 1 second.
Sure.
Remote control, Paul, send request. I'm just reading out the instructions as I'm doing it. Make presenter. We have Paul. And I believe that you should have access to the screens.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it's coming
you'll
down.
be able showing your stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you got it?
Yeah. Tell me when you can see it.
Okay, 1 second. I can share my screen. 1 second. I'm going to bring it in here. Okay, can everyone see it? Can everyone see Paul's screen? Yes, no, wake up and answer, please.
Yep, I can see it.
Good. All right, if you can see it, everyone can see it. Paul, take over.
Oh, so what's the ticker you guys are seeing there?
Apple.
Apple.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Just make sure you're on the right screen there.
But you need to
Yeah.
put the chart like fully in the middle of the screen. We only see like a little bit on the top.
Oh, really? Oh.
You just have to pull it up a little bit. Like,
Oh, sorry. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
there
Okay.
you
Yeah.
go. Now
Yeah.
we're
So
talking
this.
business. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I think Apple's a great one to watch just for an overall sentiment of the market.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't broken out yet, really. It's in a
Nope.
cup and handle, and it had a bit of a false breakout here. Came back in,
Correct.
holding this pink trend line,
Mm-hmm.
and today it kind of had a bit of a falling wedge, which it kind of broke down on. But then that last candle, that last 65-minute candle of the day, was a really
Yes.
strong way to end. So yeah, so nothing bearish about this chart. And to me, it just says the whole market has higher to run when the biggest company hasn't broken out yet.
And I'll add one more thing to it. Apple would have been up $2 or $3 if we didn't get that announcement out of Hyundai Kia over the weekend that they are not in talks with Apple to build autonomous car, which really means nothing because Apple definitively is planning to build an autonomous vehicle or being very involved with one of the companies. So I am very curious and eager to see which one they're actually dealing with. Hopefully one of the US ones or some other big name on the hybrid vehicle side, electric vehicle side, the EV side. So that's the only reason, honestly speaking, well, Apple was slightly down today. I mean, slightly down. Go ahead.
Yep. And so with this type of cup and handle, I would expect a first target of around 160 is where I would target.
Wow.
And so just kind of to give you an idea of where I think the market still has to run. And of course, there'll be the normal volatility. We've been up for like what, Frank, 6 days in a row or something like that. So of course we're going to have a
Sure.
red day. Yeah.
And just to add to that, normally after the 8th day, which happens to be 8th day is Wednesday, we get a technical reset. Standard procedure. We have gone through it hundreds of times. So yes, that's correct. Next. Yes,
How's this
babe.
chart look?
Yeah, great. We're in it. We love it. You know, this chart
Yeah, Frank,
looks
you talked about NVIDIA for about 15 minutes at least on the last webinar. And so,
and
I mean,
before, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, I mean, thank you for highlighting that. You know, some of us were in this a little while, but just your pep rally just gave us confidence to stay in it. and that sure paid off today.
Now this is a technical major symmetrical triangle breakout. Indecision, indecision. If I may move my mouse. Do you see my mouse if it moves over this?
No,
Okay, okay. So if you show it like how it's been like going back and forth, I showed the trading ranges. If it breaks out, this is a much more
yeah.
broader zoomed out picture, which is very nice, which is very clear to everybody who wants to be a patient swing trader. So where would you expect this to go?
Yeah, so this is a weekly chart. So look how much we went up today. Like this was a whole week's worth of gains in one day. That just shows you how strong today was. So basically we have a chart here going back till, you can go back here till mid-August, where it's basically been going sideways. So when it goes sideways like this, really what it's doing is it's gathering energy. And so this is the day one of the breakout. So
And can I ask you a question? I can see that. I'm
yeah,
asking you,
yeah,
rhetorically so that you can explain to everybody.
yeah,
So basically, we just came back to where we were back on that big red candle on the upper end. What date was that? Yeah, there you go.
November, yeah,
So
early
basically,
November.
we just came back to early November. So if somebody
Yep,
says, "Oh, Nvidia's really like overvalued," I say, "Shut the f up." We just came back to where we were in November, correct?
yep.
And
And
if you measure the depth of the cup, where do you expect it to go?
yeah, so we could measure here. So like 588,
Yep.
463.
No, go up a little bit more towards the bottom of the triangle. No, a little higher, 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 little higher. Yeah, there you go. A little lower, little lower, little lower. So I would go with that 514 level. So
Okay.
514 being sort of where we kept on creating multiple solid support. So 514 to where we are. Go
Yeah.
up a little. I mean, I'll show it on my chart too. But yeah, so go ahead. So what do you say? Earnings at 24th.
Yeah, and where would you take the top range, Frank? Would you take this level here, 588?
Yeah, I would look. I mean, the 580 is almost a given. I mean, that's going to happen.
No, no, sorry. I mean, when you're measuring the depth, would you go like you said 514, and where
Yeah,
would
sure.
your top range would be at the top of this level here? We've got two touches.
Yeah, that would be my upper end of the the depth of the cup, because it
Yeah,
is.
so if we take your measurement, so here 514
Mm-hmm.
to the top range here where we have two touches, then we're looking at 662 as a target. I totally agree with that number. I was actually targeting around 667-ish.
Okay. And on the top, wow, this stock could really go. So, and by the way, there was an article on Barron's. Not that Barron's matters that much, but they are, they have a lot of influence. Barron's magazine, Barron's financial paper. They said there's an article, and please read it. It's it's all public news. They said, should Apple buy AMD, NVIDIA, and they mentioned two other names. I'm like, holy crap, and who
Yeah,
knows? So go
that's
ahead.
that's a great segue. Let's look at AMD because this is my favorite chart out of all the
Oh,
charts right now.
Yeah, not in it right now, but yeah. Oh, wow, look
Okay,
at
so
that.
here's the history of AMD, right? So we had this beautiful cup and handle. This handle took forever, but it was totally
Yes,
worth it when it finally broke out. So this is the March dip here, going
correct.
sideways here until about July, and then this
Now
giant
keep
gap up
now
here
now
was
keep
yeah,
in mind, even though the handle took forever, it was a beautiful
yeah,
trading range. Upper end of the
yeah,
trading range around 56, 57. Lower end of
yeah,
the trading range was 48.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you could trade that back and forth. So it's not like, yeah, but the handle did take forever. For the base, longer the base, the bigger the breakout, right?
yeah.
So go ahead.
This first gap up here was Intel reporting that they didn't have the technology that AMD did, so AMD surged on that. And then a few days later, AMD had their actual earnings gapped up again here. And then this turned into a bit of a wedge pattern here, descending
Mm-hmm.
triangle,
Mm-hmm.
which broke out. And now what we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at here is a megaphone. So megaphones would have 5 touches,
Love it.
and they have to start as an uptrend. So it comes into the megaphone as an uptrend. So that's textbook technically here. We've got 1
Yep.
touch here, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, and then it might stall in the middle a little bit. Typically, that's what the megaphones do. They kind of stall in the middle a bit, but then
Yep.
it would eventually not only touch this level. I think this would be the first level I'd look at is around 107 early March. But then after that, it would break out, and I'd be looking at 120 for later on.
Now let me stop Paul for a second because I'm agreeing with pretty much everything he's saying. He's talking about more of a zoomed out patient swing trade type of picture. Okay, so if you're a very frisky 5-minute type of trader, you know, DMing me every 5 minutes saying, "Oh my God, do you think it's really gonna go higher?" Well, this is not your kind of chart. Okay, this is a chart where you need patience. As long as these type of zoomed out technical time frames, technical patterns and such stay intact, you're going to be very successful. Now, in tandem with that, one of the articles that I read is that Biden, President Biden and his administration, our new Secretary, Treasury the Treasury Secretary is Yellen, of course, but Secretary of State is Tony Blinken. I'm still getting used to the new names. Tony Blinken, and you know, they've been going back and forth with Chinese government officials, and they've been pretty tough. They didn't say that they're going to go ahead and like, oh, we're going to remove all tariffs and all that crap. However, the general smart analysis of the approach is that they're going to be quite tough with the Chinese, you know, which is fine, but they are not going to take the extremely hostile, impromptu, slap you down, hate everything Chinese kind of crap that happened on the latter part of the Trump administration, not the initial part. So they're not going to take a very direct kind of attack attitude with Chinese business as what happened on the Trump administration in the latter part of the administration, not the initial part. Okay, initial part, we're actually pretty constructive. We hit them hard, then we pulled back a little bit, lots of Twitter, lots of back and forth, you know, Xi Jinping is my friend, this and that, and after that, it was all like, F you, we don't care, like blah, 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 you know, this sanction, that sanction, we'll take Alibaba out of the picture. So that was getting very, very negative. So these guys that we have now in power are going to take well, at least on the surface, taking a tough attitude, but at the same time, as you know, the Biden administration was supported heavily by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, by the overall U.S. corporate, the U.S. corporations and other business organizations. So they're basically saying, all right, hit them hard, but at the same time, let's keep a constructive dialogue going on underneath the table. So all these things that he's showing are direct beneficiaries also of this type of more, let's put it this way, from a business standpoint, proactive approach towards U.S.-China trade and technology relationship. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, and Frank, look how oversold AMD still is, even after today's big move. We got the Chulkin money flow just entering positive territory, just starting.
Yeah, I see that.
We got the stochastics are bottoming, like we're talking like near October levels when it was way down here. So look, it's at the very bottom of the range. Like it's got so much room to run here.
Fantastic.
And MACD running red for such a long time. It's about to turn green.
It hasn't even turned green, which is beautiful.
Yeah. I got my own kind of indicators here I watch, but look, it's it's not turned green for a while. This is the true strength indicator. So look how oversold that is. Look, it's about to cross positive here soon, and it's at very low levels. So this is a great place still. Like, who cares about today's move? There's tons of money to be made here still, in my opinion.
Exactly. What else would you like to show? Go ahead. So you showed Apple, NVDA. Do you have any others? Like, what about Tesla? Do you have it there set up or no?
Yeah, I could look at it.
Sure. Tesla, forget it. You know, Elon Musk, everybody. Apple might get into. I mean, it's just like Apple's in the EV space. I don't know if they're going to do a partnership with Tesla. I doubt it, because it doesn't really make sense. But who knows? You never know. You know, they're all good friends. all smart cookies. Look at Tesla. Look at this chart. Holy shit, man.
So yeah, big news on Tesla today, right, Frank? With Elon announcing that he's bought into Bitcoin. What was it?
1.5 billion, baby. You know,
Wow.
and he's into Dogecoin too. Doge, D-O-G-E. You know, but Bitcoin, yeah. So that's what
Yeah,
I
you
was going
know,
to say. Like Apple might even, speculation. Apple might say, hey, listen, we're going to
yeah,
put a little bit of our cash in Bitcoin. Like, forget it. So those
yeah,
stocks that, it's like, forget it. I mean, just that's like wild. And it's going to happen because
yeah,
Tesla's first. Tesla's not first. MicroStrategy was first, MSTR. Then you have Square and PayPal already in Bitcoin. And then you have, what's the other one? Overstock, which should have a lot in Bitcoin. I mean, US giants are moving that way. It just can't be Tesla. Apple comes in a little bit. What if Facebook says, hey, we're thinking of putting some cash in Bitcoin? Like it's scary. It's scary happy. So go ahead. So that's
yeah,
a great chart. Now
yeah.
this is a 65. What's the time frame on this? Yeah.
This is daily.
Oh, this is daily. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, here's like where 1,000 is, right? So we're not that far away from 1,000, and we talked on your
Yep.
plays on Bitcoin, rather than own Bitcoin outright. There's different stocks you can play Bitcoin. Well, Tesla, in my opinion, is in that category for sure now. So if
No question.
Bitcoin surges from here, here's a great
Yep.
way to play Tesla, Bitcoin. And maybe you
Exactly.
thought Bitcoin might have been too highly valued before, but now you have a true company that earns real profits. So you're not
Correct.
just earning a hypothetical, Bitcoin token. You have a
Exactly.
true value behind it. So good way to play Bitcoin, in my opinion.
Fantastic. So you heard it. So let's see if I can take over my screen, and if you can
Yep.
cancel out from your side, sir. And thank you,
Yep.
Paul, for your input, because we love hearing that from a long-term player on some of these stocks, and he didn't even cover so many others, but we'll certainly have his input in there. All right. So if you can pull that back, and I'm
Yeah.
going
So
to
I
try.
stopped sharing my screen. So let me know if.
Okay. Let's see
Oh,
if
yeah,
I
I can
can.
see it. Yeah, I got your screen, Frank. So it looks like you're back in control here.
Okay, sir. Thank you again. Thank you. All
Yeah,
right.
my
So
pleasure.
I'm gonna take Paul out, make presenter, remote control. Okay, so can everybody see my screen here?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. So again, not to repeat what Paul said because that'd be kind of repetitious, but this is the same thing we've been talking about for a while now. And please, like they say, take the time to look at the previous webinars. I'm just trying to get this frigging thing in the picture. When you look at charts like this, you don't think twice. You keep on moving your strikes up. You always have some sort of position. Oh, come on. Won't let me get in there. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, I hate this. Sorry, guys. 30 minutes. Anyway, so talking about range breakouts and all that stuff, there you go. All right. So let's say I take this out, I take this out. And this is basically a different way, same chart, same thing that Paul, conclusion that Paul's drawing. I'm drawing the same thing. I'm just looking at it from a range standpoint, okay? So there we got. Upper end of the range is 588. It's $12 away. 588. Question is, what's going to happen once it actually breaks the frigging range, right? So that is what we're wondering. Is it too overbought before earnings, the 24th? Normally, stocks like this will run into earnings. That means you can play it till 588. But the point is that what will happen after that? We don't know that. Might pull back a little bit before it attempts to do it. Here is the third attempt, right? There you go. Now, one of the things I've talked about for years and years, months and months, is when you keep on hitting the floor or keep on hitting the roof. Let's say you're trying to get out of a whatever, one of a Netflix movie, out of a South American prison, and you keep on breaking the tie, hitting the roof. Why am I saying South America? I have no idea. It just came to my head. So no offense meant to anybody. So basically, just trying to be politically correct now that I am. So 588, like, keeps on breaking that. Then what happens? It breaks out. So there's a damn good chance this thing is going to break out. And you saw the much longer term picture on that on Paul's chart. So I would say it breaks out. Okay. So you got to take it. Got to take the risk. Very bullish candle. Very nice. 588, 590. You can see that. I mean, I don't need to tell you that. And the depth of this channel is 588 all the way down, if you want to look at it that way, to last August. The lower end of the range is 4670, but let's call it 500, 492. So 490, 590, that's 100 points. If you break out of this massive range, then expect the stock to drift up 100 points from here. So what does that bring up to? That brings us up to 688. Exactly. Will it happen in one day? No. Let's not be stupid. Will it happen as we get into the better half of March, going to the end of the first quarter, which I repeated in my previous webinars, which is March 31st? Yes, it can happen. And don't forget, there is a massive shortage of chips for the auto industry. GM is cutting production in a lot of their cars because they don't have those specialized semiconductor chips needed for auto, for all these, for all our cars. And NVIDIA is a major supplier, AMD too, in not just autonomous driving, but in regular cars too. There you go.
And Frank?
Go ahead.
We've got 11 full days until their earnings reports. It'll be really interesting to see what it does between now and then.
There you go. Exactly. 11 full days, which is an eternity. I was talking to one of our new members who DM'd me today. He goes, Frank, what should I do with options? They're moving higher, but, looks like they might not get there. I said, what do you mean they might not get there? So he's new, so he's just trying to learn. So I said, what do you mean? What stuff are you talking about? He goes, he mentioned a couple of these big movers. And I said, how do you know they're not going to get there? Friday's an eternity away. And then next Friday, not even this Friday, next Friday is an eternity away. And next Friday also happens to be the monthly options expiration. And by now you should know, because the little voice in your head should remember my stupid voice telling you go over and over and over again that once you have the mini dip in the middle of the month, give or take the 15th, 16th, 17th or something, you get a very sharp move into monthly options expiration, which is 19th of February. Okay, so you got two major bullish events. One is Valentine's Day, and one is monthly options expiration from a options expiry standpoint. Exactly. So he goes, yeah, that's right. I said, haven't you seen how volatile the markets are? You get a pullback middle of the day, you get a nice pullback around 10:30, 11:30, and by the end of the day, we're up 250 points almost. Exactly. Wake up. I actually woke myself up a little bit right now. So yeah, exactly. So stop sitting there playing with scared money. Now, like a lot of neo traders say, but that's what their little voice in their head, which constantly says, I'm going to lose money, I'm going to lose money, I'm going to lose money. It happens. So how do you stop yourself from a behavioral game theory, from a trader standpoint, from being scared all the time and missing out on most of the trades? Even though you tell yourself you're happy, which is good, but you're not really happy because you're missing out a significant amount of trades or not putting in enough of a position size to make real money. Very simple answer. Have a bunch in cash. Okay, it doesn't matter what size your account is. It doesn't matter. Okay, if you have a very small account, throw all of it in the market, do whatever you need to do. Because if you lose, at least you lost a little. You can handle it. If you have a reasonable size account, then at least have 30 to 40%, 20 to 40% in cash. So you can take advantage of new opportunities that come about. You can take advantage of dollar cost averaging. And this way your mind is not constantly in a state of massive fear. Every time the market has a red candle in the middle of the day or a 1 or 2 day type of pullbacks, That's how you control your emotional fear. Exactly. Have 20 to 40% in cash and not get super excited about one thing or another. Thank you very much. Okay, so Apple. So this is the same chart as my friend here, Paul, and looking at it from a slightly different perspective there. And Apple, in my opinion, I repeat, is probably the cheapest. I shouldn't say safest. Yeah, I would say safe. Why not? Because it hasn't run up. So from that perspective, from a risk reward standpoint, yeah, the safest. Big cap tech stock that you can buy. Exactly. Like they say, 90% of my traders who have been with me for a while know very well I like to buy a portion of my portfolio which are coming off from the bottom. From a technical standpoint, Apple is coming off from the bottom. End of story.
Yeah, and Frank, to your point, it's
Go ahead.
our RSI, daily RSI is only 55 right now.
55. Think about that for a minute. And then if we look at the stochastics, just turning. This all correlates with what Paul was talking about. This all correlates with what I've been talking about on Apple. This is just starting to go, even though it's starting to get overbought a little bit. And MACD is basically moving sideways. So everything is going in Apple's favor. All we need is one or two headlines. And don't forget, Apple sales on their iPhones will be substantial, in my opinion. Common sense says as we get into the holiday season, get into Valentine's Day, Apple will have very strong sales on their iPhones and their what do you call it, accessories and all that stuff. There you go. Now, one of the stocks which obviously there's a lot of stocks and I'm too tired to go through all that because it's all my real-time Twitter feed. These are really bullish charts, okay? These are seriously bullish charts. So you don't need to sit there and scratch your behinds or wherever you scratch, okay? Just freaking buy them, all right? I'm tired of talking about it. Okay, fuel cell. These are the thematic stocks, renewable energy. This is what we talked about before the elections. Paul talked about it. Posted some of his comments on that. I kept on pushing it. Biden comes to power. Clean energy, tech stocks, because there's going to be a moderation of hostilities with China. Parts of healthcare, all right, digital currencies, all that stuff are going to go through the roof. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And we talked about one thing with some people, I think all of our people kind of respected it. Some people out there might not have liked it. Like, don't give a shit if the Democrats or Republicans came to power. The markets would have done pretty much the same thing under Trump if Trump had won, if he had just moderated down a little bit on his rhetoric on large U.S. business and the tech war with China, which I'm sure you would have done if you won. Okay, so the bottom line is it didn't matter. Democrats came to power and the markets are hitting new highs every day. Like, ooh, you scratch your head and say, ooh, really, did that happen? Yeah, it happened many, many times, all right, over the last 50 years, 60 years. So that old notion, Republicans come to power, markets will go higher, and Democrats come to power, markets are going to lower, it's a hogwash. Look at the history of U.S. financial markets. And now we have the prospect of another big stimulus deal. And he's saying, and then I think the Republicans will work on that too, also, is an infrastructure bill. Oof. Lots of bullish events out there with risks involved, obviously. Like they say, Wall Street climbs a wall of worry. So fuel cell. Yeah, see you later. Okay. Let's take a look at NEO. I believe this stock has a similar chart like Apple. Uptrend line intact. Options dirt cheap. Triangle formation, just the way NVIDIA was. Don't forget, before it broke out, Upper end of the triangle is 61. Mid neckline is 65. What's there to really think about? To go around and asking your little koi fish or whatever you have in the aquarium, or your little lizard, hey, should I buy Neo? Yeah, frigging buy Neo. Oof. All right, I'm kidding around. But seriously, look at that. Crossover just happened. MACD hasn't even crossed over yet. And Neo is China's Tesla. And Kathy Woods of ARK Investments mentioned Neo is one of the big China plays in her recent interview over the weekend. All right. So I like this stuff because it's a serious tightening triangle, and it's breaking out. It just broke out right today over the 20-day moving average, up 4%. OSTK, overstocked. So one of the things over on Friday, like I put on my thing, stock pulls back a little bit. This is what traders really need to work on. Intraday pulled back a little bit, came down towards 86 after hitting 95. So what? I showed multiple charts on this, not just the daily. And the stock today hit, and this is a pure Bitcoin play, because they have almost 100% of their cash position, overstock.com, in Bitcoin. They were one of the pioneers of putting their corporate treasury money into Bitcoin. Okay, and their earnings are coming up on the 24th. Do you think earnings are going to be really crappy? Yeah, right. Okay, so the stock today hit $101. Beautiful move on the options. Took some money down, bought some money out of the money. We had the 95, 100 calls, blew past that. Beautiful. Another stock which can very well go ahead and hit its upper end, its all-time high, which was $130. Who cares if it pulls back in the middle of the day? And some traders say, yo, I missed the dip. Like what dip? The one in your head? Or the one we're talking about here? You don't miss a dip if you freak out in every 15-minute pullback. Thank you very much. Next stock. Now, this is a pure Bitcoin play, as you know. Marathon patent. So technically, like, these are sick charts, okay? So what does it mean? It can pull back a little bit during the day or one-day basis. Come on. This stock on a daily basis has a Fibonacci extension of 161.8 extension at $46. My opinion is, I don't want to get too crazy bullish, at one point or another over the next month or two, it's going to get there by March. Pure Bitcoin play. If you don't have the money to buy one Bitcoin at $40,000, I'm sure all of you are like super rich trust fund babies. Oh, I'll buy 5 Bitcoins. Yeah, that's great. 200,000 bucks. Sure, gonna go ahead and do it. All right. Sure, why not? Play the proxies on Bitcoin, and there are many. You have Bitcoin trusts. You have these direct plays on Bitcoin, like Marathon Patent, which is the miners, the ones who sell the picks and shovels, whatever you call it, right? This is the Bitcoin miners. It's serious stuff. I have a feeling, and we're in it, I have a feeling that this thing is going to break out. And I'll play 3, 4, 5 points. Today alone, it was up 60%, $14. And we have played it sporadically, even though we were not in it on Friday. So we're in it today. And we're still up on it. And we get into it, and this time I'm going to hold it, because of the validation on Bitcoin that we talked about before, because of Tesla and everything else. And look at the volume. It's coming down, bang. It's the other one. This way sucks, man. Square. Did two sexy catalysts. Okay, Bitcoin, digital payments, and earnings coming up. I adjusted the chart and showed it to you again. My previous target was for 450. Now my overall target on a swing trade basis, okay, like Paul shows the zoomed out basis on swing charts, is $325. Yes, sir. Short term, as a trader, I'm looking at 275 to 300. Round number. It's not like you sit there like, should I buy Square? Like, freaking buy it. If it pops up $8 in the morning, sell it, go back in, buy some higher strikes. This is not rocket science. Exactly. I'm not being Chef Ramsay today because I'm too tired. Paul's going to laugh. All right. Another stock that a lot of us went berserk is United Airlines. Again, stock was dilly-dallying around here, 40, 41. These calls were 38 cents, 40 cents. They went to almost $2. United Airlines. This moves hand in hand in many cases with Disney, even though Disney's making new highs, and we were in it. United Airlines, in my opinion, is again another cheap lotto play, very cheap lotto play. You can buy it a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. What's going to happen? Aside from another second massive wave of a coronavirus mutant that grips us, which I don't think is going to happen. What the hell do I know? Okay. But aside from that type of black swan event, in other words, a unquantifiable event, airlines are going to go higher, just like Boeing. And these stocks are way off their highs, dude. Right? Exactly. Exactly. So if the stock even goes to 47, you've doubled your money. So when somebody says, well, I have a small account, so you will keep on telling yourself you have a small account because you think small, you act small, you're going to remain small. Exactly. In life as well as in trading. Doesn't matter if you're small, think big. Take quantifiable risks and grow your account. Stop sitting there and telling, I'm small, I'm small, I'm small. Well, stay small then. What are you doing here at Clueless A Trading? Okay? Like they say, misery loves company. Right? Well, we're not at misery bar here. Even on my worst days, I stay optimistic. Even on my worst day when I feel like crap, when I'm yelling at my screens, I stay optimistic. I attack the market, attack the market, attack the market. Well, if you're not willing to do that because you think everything's going to hell in a handbasket because Biden's in power, all right, and all kinds of bad things are happening, well, I have nothing to say. Boeing, another stock which is just about to break out and it's screaming buy. Cheap calls, expensive. Boeing calls are never really that expensive. Just again, buy it. So many great news on Boeing. The media doesn't give a crap about it, which I love because they're not talking it up. Here's your consolidation here. Watch. And this is the simple chart. I show the more detailed chart a couple of times during the week on Boeing off my other platform. And the other concern, valid concern, sometimes I hear from certain members like, man, I'm so busy at work and stuff, I really can't monitor the market. Fully understandable, of course. And by the way, a good suggestion, keep your day job, all right? Unless you really mentally are ready to be a tactical trader of any sort, please keep your day job. Might be good for you, all right? Because what we do as a living is like deep sea diving, all right? You got to know how many fathoms deep you are till you find the treasure. So unless you're mentally ready, keep your day job. Thank you very much. So, and which is good. So if you have your day job, buy these stocks where you don't have to look at it every 5 minutes. Exactly. Buy the apples. You don't have to look at it every 5 minutes, even though it might be down $1 one day while the markets are higher. The NVIDIAs, the AMDs, those type of stocks, yes, you do have to keep an eye on it because you could be up a lot in the morning and then boom, because of the market, it could be down like $5. And you'd be like, man, I was up all that money and look what happened. Yeah, those you have to keep an eye on. Boeing, in my opinion, swing trade. Buy it a month out, 2 months out, going into the end of March, going to the summer, I don't care. What's the big deal here? The stock at one point or another is going to go to 245. In the middle, it's going to go to 220. Before that, it's going to go to 215. You know what the floor is, 192 to 200. What is this, rocket science? No, it's Boeing science, all right? Exactly. So, kind of exhausting myself. There's a lot of stocks out there, man. And then you got stocks like Big C, which turned around like a monster today, okay? Nothing is wrong with this chart. The only thing wrong with this chart is traders' brains who are screwing with their own brains. Exactly. Okay? It's like a, nothing is wrong with this chart from a swing perspective. Intraday, sure, it's going to give you a red candle like this on Friday. Sure, it went down to $80 today. Like, oh, what happened? Well, I didn't get any big C DMs today, which is interesting, which means maybe my traders are becoming a little bit more robotic, which was good news. Otherwise, I get these DMs. Hey, man, it's down. What's going on? Let me check my right pocket. What's going on? Nothing's going on. It's just the hedge funds playing around big time games, which they do every minute of the day in the market. You guys should know that by now. So if somebody is patient, I believe they're going to make a lot of money. We have done reasonably well with this stock. Certain cases we've done very well when it has this type of move. But how are we going to take advantage of this type of big move from 64 to 97, 50% higher if you're not buying? Exactly. And first you have to decide, do you treat this as a swing trade or a day trade? This is not a day trade, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So cup and handle breaking out. And it's going to get there. But in between, it's going to zigzag its way up there. So what's the big freaking deal? Another stock which broke out like a monster. Unfortunately, we were not in it at that last leg of the move, of the recent move. Maybe it's going to be a lot higher, which I think it is Magnite. Okay? Magnite. If you remember that. One of our traders, Dominic, was building a huge position on it. He sold it when the stock originally broke out over 40. Maybe he still has some. And look at what the stock did. They bought a company called SpotX. Now, if a company, they've been supposedly one of the largest, now they've become the largest digital ad advertising programmatic platform. Very similar to Trade Desk, TTD. So here is what's interesting. Here's a stock nobody talked about. We have traded it. I kept you guys in the stock, and then the stock broke out. Okay, it was easy to buy the stock in the 30s. Let me get the line to it here. And I think this stock has a lot of potential to move higher. It hasn't even been talked about by the fast talking, chirping birds at Fast Money and all those CNBC guys yet. Have you heard them say, hey, Magnite? No, they don't even know what Magnite. They probably think it's a battery company making batteries for your Jeep. Serious company. Do some due diligence, all right? So here we are. Here is where it came public. Forget all that stuff. Now it's in a different zone. It buys a company called SpotX, a digital advertising company. Normally, when a company buys another company, that stock, it's an arbitrage. That stock goes down, and the company that they bought, which is a private company, so it's not a public traded stock, that goes higher if it's a public traded stock. In this case, they went nuts. They just zoomed up like this because they bought SpotX, which was unheard of. They paid like $1 billion some dollars, so shouldn't they be pulled back a little bit because they spent all that cash to buy another company? No, it just zoomed. So where can this stock go? I'm going to be looking into earnings when its earnings are coming out and trying to establish a position. You can establish a position here. So it's at 161.8 Fibonacci retracement. So let's go a little bit nuts on this Fibonacci stuff. $92. Somewhere along the line, it's going to go to $92. It will happen. Now, in between, I'm looking for some sort of consolidation, little pullback. What's the pullback I'm looking for? Maybe like $6, $7, $8. I don't know if I'm going to get it because it doesn't look like it, both internally as well as on the outside candles. So here's another great stock to buy. All right, throw me one or two names because I'm like really sleepy right now, guys. I showed you guys SDGR. Sick. That chart. Oh man, I gotta show this again. This is such a picture perfect technical chart. Gorgeous. And you don't hear the chirping monkeys on all the financial media networks ever talking about SDGR, right? Because they can't even pronounce the name. Schrodinger. Exactly. Sounds like a Jerry Seinfeld show. Hi, did you meet Mr. Schrodinger at the deli today? Right, exactly. This is Mr. Schrodinger, all right? Eating a nice bagel with lox. Exactly. So where is Mr. Schrodinger going? I showed you it on my Twitter feed. Here's a stock you don't, it's a great swing chart. Could be down a little bit, maybe $1 or $2 on a rough day, $3 maybe. But look at the chart. Look where it's going. Don't need to auto manage it, micromanage it every 10 minutes. Buy some a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. I normally like buying a month out or so because, you know, markets are markets. It's getting quite extended, right? So look at Schrodinger. Mr. Schrodinger can go to $115. It's at a new high right now. Massive. This was a picture perfect, what do you call it? W formation. And in between, little pullbacks, sharp pullback, all within the uptrend channel. Not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen, not rocket science. All right. So now in the upper end of the uptrend channel, if you want to wait a little bit, sure. Maybe look for a pullback back to its previous highs, the breakout highs, which is $100, was just there on Friday. So maybe a little pullback, sure. But if it breaks over into this upper channel, it's going to go just like this. I'm going to play this on earnings. All right. Anyone with any quick questions? Because I really exhausted, man. Come on.
Hey, Frank, I got one if nobody else does.
Go ahead.
Just curious on your thoughts on BlackBerry. I kind of wrote this one off, but there was a great headline today that caught my eye, and I actually bought some shares based on the headline. I'll just read out the headline to you here, too.
Sure.
It's got to find it here. Yeah, so it says BlackBerry QNX has design wins with 19 of the top 25 electric vehicle OEMs, which together have 61% of the EV market.
Correct. And if somebody wants to know what BlackBerry is really famous for the last 3 years, since their phones were almost discontinued in the United States of America, and I was a very avid BlackBerry user till I switched to iPhones. I was a late adopter to the iPhone world. BlackBerry's biggest. They have completely transformed from being a hardware cell phone maker to a software maker. And what Paul just mentioned is what they're big in, QNX, which they were working on for a while, which has to do with automotive software. And Paul just mentioned the stat. So when you look at BlackBerry from a longer term perspective, stock looks pretty damn good. You got 1522, that's 2 points from here, 50% retracement, where I think the stock can go to. And don't forget, BlackBerry is also a favorite of the Reddit crowd, so you got momentum on that side. They love BlackBerry. It got squeezed and it came back. There you go. Drawing tool, drawing tool. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that. Here's another very interesting play. And don't forget that BlackBerry could be a buyout target by one of the big boys, maybe NVIDIA, for all you know. Exactly. So 50% retracement is 1782. When the Reddit crowd took the stock over the past couple of weeks, it went from 12 to 28, and from lower, I think, from 9 or 10 to 28. Now has pulled back. Here's your support. The support is $11, very manageable. Options are dirt cheap. You certainly can play the stock towards, if you just play the fibs, $15, $18. Not to mention that anything can happen in between. Okay, that's great. AJ, you don't have any stock you want me to look at? You're making millions of dollars? AJ?
Hey, can you take a look at Workhorse?
Sure. I have a weird feeling. My feelings are sometimes right. That Apple's going to partner with Workhorse. Yep. Damn good looking chart. All right. Here's your daily chart. Here's a great swing trade. You don't have to have sleepless nights, even if it slips and slides a little. We have been swing trade long with this stock. Told you that Workhorse was going to go to 40. Okay. And it blew past 40 on Friday. On Thursday to 43. Pulled back a little bit, creating a small head and sorry, what head and shoulder? What the hell am I talking about? I told you I was tired. Bull flag. Stock is good for 45. Stock is good for 50. Stock is good for 55 if you have the patience. On the pullback side, you can basically look at yourself as put yourself as a hard support at 32. That's a hard support. Okay, $8, that's like almost a mini crash. That's a crash, okay? But I'm saying that's hard support. In the meantime, intermediate support is around 35 to 36. Stock looks fantastic. Internals look great. Workhorse has a lot of potential. Biden has mandated that every federal agency buy US-made hybrid cars. That's what they're going to go into by 2024, something like that, right, Paul? Like they're gonna just buy non-gasoline powered,
Yep.
green energy. So Workhorse is a major contender. There are 3 major contenders in it. I believe Workhorse is one, GM is one, and I forget the other one. So it's not they're gonna just pick one. They might just give the contracts to all 3 of them, because all 3 of them have different specialties, right? So basically, Workhorse is in major trucks. So very good looking chart. Good swing trade. No volume today. This was Thursday. This was Friday. So a little light sell volume today, right? Right there. But very good looking chart. You can sleep with these stocks and not have nightmares, okay, in the middle of the night. Yes, they'll be a little volatile certain times during the day, but very good looking technical chart. Nobody else? Mike the Machine, you don't want to ask any questions? Mike is one of our newer traders from, who's based out in Europe right now. Mike,
Yeah,
what do you Go ahead,
if you could look
hurry
at
up.
him,
My what?
HIMS,
Huh?
HIMS.
HIMS. What, are you using the ED drug? I'm just kidding. So, I didn't even know HIMS was a stock. Wow.
Yeah, it was OAC before.
Is that the same HIMS? As in HIMS, which sells men's,
Yeah, they started and they're moving over to telemedicine.
Oh, wow. See, I learned something. I didn't know HIMS was a public traded company.
They
Gee, I
were a
told you.
OAC. It was a SPAC from OAC.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go. It was a SPAC. That's why. I can't keep track of the SPACs, man. It's like
yeah, it was a
another
lot.
world. Like people who trade SPACs and stuff, like that's a whole different ball game. You know, we played a few SPACs here and there. IPOE worked out well, but there's SPACs like nuts. You know, I see it going through the bottom end of the ticker on CNBC up like 30%. I'm like, what? You
Yeah.
know, nuts. Okay, let's look at HIMS. Let's see if HIMS can perform tonight. I'm just kidding. Shit, I'm gonna get in trouble. So let's see here. It's a SPAC. Good looking chart. I'm not really, it doesn't really excite me. Am I using all the wrong words on HIMS? Like, it doesn't really excite me? No, but primarily because, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I shouldn't say that. It's because look at the implied daily moves on this stock. Okay, it's gone from 21 to 24. It's not like, I don't know how the options move, so I don't even know. Do they have options?
Yeah, they have options.
Okay, so I don't even know what the behavior on the option is. Chart looks fine. I think it looks overextended, but doesn't look like, you know, it's got any major issues. Let's try to look at a Fibonacci retrace. Best, you know, when traders have no idea on what a stock's going to do, rely on technicals. I rely on technicals anyway. So if somebody who's really bullish can say it's going to 33. I really have no opinion on this. Chart looks fine. Looks like there was some big selling today on it when it hit 25, pulled back to 23. I like stocks with wide ranges, you know? So this is fine. So this is it? You just want to look at HIMS? I mean, do you trade any one of our other stocks or what? You trade some of the other ones that we trade?
Yeah, I'm in a few others.
Okay. Okay.
Riot, Square,
Excellent. Excellent names. So cool.
Tesoro.
So those ones, you know, you already have the charts and stuff, so that's why I didn't ask. Okay.
Yeah.
HIMS looks fine, but like I said, I really have no opinion because I don't know how the options volatility is, how it behaves. SPAC went up. What SPAC is it in anyway?
It was a OAC.
Always OAC?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Didn't know that. Okay, here's another major hybrid fuel play, which we played a while ago, which means a few weeks ago. You know, a while is a few weeks ago. He's about to go, like about to go big time. Gevo. Okay, very good looking chart. Very good looking chart. Pen. Here's your cup. Upper end of the handle neckline is 14.5. Mid neckline, it broke out today, which is around 12. Here's your base, 10. Gevo is a play. Now these stocks I like. The stock was up $2 today. We're not in it at this point. We're in fuel cell primarily. Some of our traders are in plug, those type of things. So some of our traders are in Blink, even though it pulled back. Blink is another stock, goes up a lot and pulled back, but still moving higher. So Gevo sounds like that group. What is that group called? Devo? So all right, so Gevo. So stock was up $2 today, which is 18%. Calls, which were the 12.5 calls, were up 105% or 102%. So I like that type of move. This one looks pretty damn good to break out. This is a Biden clean energy play. Keep it on your radar. So Pester, no questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, that sounds good. So in the meantime, really nothing to report. We're in a strong bull market. Let's take a look at the SPX from the standpoint of what it looks like on remove drawing. This is what the bottom was in March. Wow. You know what this chart looks like? This chart looks like this chart since March looks like a microcosm or a zoomed in version, ditto replica of 2009 till now. The Great Recession of 2009, which ended on March 9, 2009 till now. If you look at March 9, 2009 till 2006, year to date, 2021, it looks pretty much exactly like, even though this is a monthly, daily chart, so every candle is a month. Imagine, I'm sorry, every candle is a day. Imagine every candle is a month. Looks pretty much like that. Look it up yourself. It's pretty amazing. Okay, and we had a lot of crybabies between 2009, Bush handing over power to Obama, the big stimulus at that time. Now we're doing triple that. President Trump did a phenomenal job doing double that. Now they want 1.9 trillion. Okay, whatever the case, the chart looks exactly like that. Exactly like that. It's pretty funny. And it broke out. Here was your ascending triangle. See you later. We broke out on Friday. So can we come back and retest this level again, which was the breakout level? Sure we can. Sure we can. Okay, 38.71, but it broke out. Respect breakouts. Now, what's happening internally? It's getting overbought, no question about it. But the percentage K line, which is the orange line, has not curled up yet. Normally when the percentage K line, the orange line, gets into the over 80 RSI level, that's when you start to get frothy. So we're not really there yet. Can you believe that? McClellan oscillator got deep oversold when the market crashed. I said, relax, we're going to have a pattern symmetry reflex bounce. I was dead right, dead right. I said again, dead right. Okay, this is where it got to. Now it's getting overbought. So I say, so that's pretty much it. The VIX is quite oversold, and I'm not even bringing it into the picture here. It really looks like crap. So the VIX can possibly go down to 20 again. Normally between 20 and 21 on the VIX, not 2021, like 19 to 20, you should start getting a little cautious, a lot cautious, because that means things are getting really frothy. So it has to hit that 20 level again, where it was on Friday. Okay, not Friday. On the 22nd, it hit 20, like a little lower than where we are right now, and then overshot. It overshot to 40, if you remember. I showed you that. So that's basically it, guys. All right. So stay cool, trade, make money. Certain sectors, the thematic sectors, clean energy, digital currency, in my opinion, will continue to go higher regardless of the broader market. Certain small caps will go higher regardless of the broader market. In other words, the broader market can pull back; they can still be higher. Okay. So we're in good shape. But again, nobody's really happy. They'd like to think they're happy, which is good. Happiness is confidence. Don't get too happy. Manage your profits. Something's the runner, big time, like that OCGN that I told you guys to buy. Went up 2 points, pulled back, ended down about 3 points. Okay. It's a fast day trade. I'm still in it. I think the stock, probably got more room to move. NNDM, there's a lot of them. TSNP. So all good to go. That's about it, man. I gotta get some sleep. So this snow's finally getting to me. All right. God bless you all. See you all tomorrow. And stay connected on the real-time Twitter feeds and get a lot of referrals to join us. All right. There's a lot of people out there looking at Reddit and garbage chat rooms for ideas. Why not get some solid ideas here at Clueless 8 Trading? All right. On that note, Good night. God bless you all.
Right, thank you.